Alright, so welcome back to our next episode of the Ask PropertyLimBrothers series, and today we're going to talk about what are some of the key things that you need to note if you're selling your landed property. Alright, so when it comes to selling off your landed home, there are actually quite a fair bit of things to talk about, but maybe what we'll do is we'll split into two different episodes for you. So this episode, what we want to do is that we want to help you to understand as a landed property seller, if you're selling your landed for the first time, what are some of the things that the buyers out there are looking for and what could be running through the buyer's mind so that you will know exactly how to position your home when you price it and when you list it up in the market. So let's have a look at some of the price determinant of a landed property. So a landed property is determined by three different factors. So number one is the land price. So the land price for landed property is very stable. In fact, it is more often than not on a very gradual upward trend because landed homes are very scarce in Singapore. There's a shortage of supply and it's just in this few pockets of areas in Singapore only. Furthermore, if let's say a developer actually buy off certain older landed pieces of plots and then they redevelop it into cluster homes or smaller kind of boutique apartments, it would then reduce the amount of landed homes available in the market as well. So first determinant of pricing is your land. Second determinant of the pricing is when was this house built. Alright, so is the building age, the construction age of the house itself, and how does the house look like in comparison with the competition in the same vicinity. And then the third thing will be the interior renovation. So land, the building age, interior renovation. Three different determinants to determine pricing. Now this is the first set of rules. So what is the second set? The second set is basically to know what is the bank valuation for your home. So you can call up different bankers, but of course sometimes if there's very little transactions, then it might be better to get a valuer to really physically come down for a site inspection and do a physical valuation report for your place. The second one is to really have a look at the past transactions that's being done recently, especially in the 6 to 12 months range, in probably the 500 meters radius from your home or even up to a 1 kilometers radius in your estate as well. Now the third thing, which I think is the most important factor, is to understand your competition. Now what do we mean by understanding your competition? It is to know if let's say today you are not a seller and you are a buyer and you are looking for let's say an inter-terrace for sale or maybe a semi-D for sale, what are the choices in this entire area? So for example, let's say if you're looking at the D28 area, Seletar area, or maybe you're looking at the Kovan area. So if you're looking specifically for inter-terraces, what would then be your range of choices? Would there be like maybe 45 inter-terraces for sale, and out of that 45, what are the different types of inter-terraces? So for example, if let's say I'm selling my own landed property and I find that right now there's another 45 different inter-terraces for sale, I will then take out this 45 and see, out of this 45, how many of them are basically selling just the land. When we say just the land, we mean that for very old houses, probably like single story kind of inter-terraces which is meant for rebuild, or is it an inter-terrace that is probably a 2.5 story or it has been built in the past like 20 years. We call it the middle-aged landed homes. And then the third kind will be those brand new ones from developers. It can be from smaller developers or it can be from bigger developers as well. So the very old ones, the middle-aged one, and the new one. So take these 45 competitors, split it out, study the different pricing, and based on that pricing, determine which category of price range should you price your own home. Because knowing your competition is the first thing that is very helpful, because you will then understand what is your buyer thinking of. For example, if let's say you are the buyer, you're shopping for an inter-terrace to buy, and you find that okay, the brand new ones are going at maybe like 3.7 million for inter-terrace, let's say 3.5 story, and then you see the middle-aged one, they're asking for like maybe 3 million. And then as a buyer, you will then start to think, okay, if I buy a middle-aged one, but the building is already 20 over years old, and in the event if I want to rebuild, I need to spend maybe about another $1.2 million, and that would then bring my total cost to $4.2 million. Then they might then be in a dilemma, and instead they might then go for the brand new one that's direct from a developer at 3.6, 3.7 million. So in order to know what should be the right range to price your home, is very important then to know your competitors as well. Alright, so we hope that this part 1 of this episode will help you to understand a little bit more about the pricing strategy for a landed home. We'll also talk more about the marketing strategy as well in the next few episodes. Alright, see you soon.